I am sad. Let that be known. I broke my bottle of black ink when I was putting it back on my shelf after refilling my pen for today's infinite drawing. Anyway, because of that, my avatar today will be sad. Roll the intro. Well, hello there, I'm Pt.3. This is the third video of me drawing on this roll of receipt paper that I maybe clickbaitingly called infinite drawing. Of course it's not infinite, it's just really long. I have been drawing on it for maybe 6 hours now, I would say. 2 hours per video sounds about right. This is the third installment and maybe the last. I still have some paper left now that I finished this one though. If you haven't watched the previous ones, now is a good time to click the link in the top right corner and come back after you've seen the earlier parts of this series. And if you want to know if I'll make a full video like this, well, subscribe. Only by following me in the future will we both know how it turns out. Before I start getting into what exactly I drew today, I have some things to say. First thing, my heart is in pain because of what you've seen in the intro. I'm so sad and I lost so much of that precious ink. It's the Cross brand ink that I had been using with the Cross fountain pen ever since I got it as a gift from my parents. I still saved a third of the ink from the broken bottle and put it in a random empty ink bottle I had kept for a few years. I could have drawn so many more things and lines with it. Anyway, before I start crying, let's get to the other thing I want to say. As it has always been the case with this very YouTube channel, I like to document my course on being a YouTuber. I haven't talked about it in a while, so now is as good a time as any to bring you up to date. As I'm writing this, the Pt.3 Variety channel has 133 subscribers. Before I started making videos, that didn't seem like a lot, really, but considering my point of view now, I'm so glad I have been able to reach this point already. Can you name 133 people at the top of your head, just like that? Probably, with a bit of time, but it's still a lot of people. That's somewhat of a large audience, and I can't thank you enough for it. I am really grateful all of you watch my videos and have decided to follow my work semi-regularly. One thing I have learned recently over the last few months of doing this is that gaining traction is really hard. I mean, I knew that from the start, but it's an active job that you have to focus on constantly. For every video, you can't just expect people to accidentally stumble upon it and stay to watch your stuff and eventually decide to subscribe. For every video I upload, I spend hours posting on Instagram on many subreddits regarding arts and or small YouTubers, and trying to interact with people on Twitter as well, like doing all sorts of stuff. If you upload, even if it's consistent, but you don't do that sort of social media management, let's call it, you'll quickly hit a plateau and stop growing, or at least slow down considerably. And I'm not the best at that, I admit. I suck at forcing my stuff onto people of the internet. That being said, I am still part of a growing community of small YouTubers. Or my community is growing still. Even if my progress is slow, now that I see all sorts of people like me trying to achieve great things, I can see that I'm far from having the slowest growing channel, just like I'm far from being the strongest out here. And I don't mean that as a competition. Gaming channels, for example, are very different. They are a different bunch. They upload more, generally, and they appeal to a lot of people. Drawing is a bit more of a niche. Drawing random things and sometimes making tutorials, alternating between dozens of art styles on different media, is even more of a niche, so that makes sense, I guess. I'm not gonna change that though. I love drawing any sort of things. I'm ready to bet that no one could ever predict what my next Thursday video is going to be. If you're willing to try to guess, leave a comment and see how wrong you are in a week. In turn, if your idea is good, I might just draw it someday, who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to bring that out as a record for later, or for anyone watching this that is interested in how to grow on YouTube. Don't expect a big break straight away, and simply enjoy bringing pleasure to people who watch your stuff. That's you I'm talking about. If you're watching this, thank you. Now, let's go back to the drawing at hand. Last time we ended the drawing with a bit of a lightning maze. A lot of straight lines in random directions, so I started today's part with the complete opposite. Order and curves. That's a mandala pattern. a concentric assortment of shapes and lines. I also wanted to draw something that would feel a bit crowded, with less dead space in the middle. The transition with the next part of the drawing was very clunky, and I just added a small mandala piece on the leg of the Sleeping Beauty. Because I didn't sketch or anything, and I went in with ink straight away, the silhouette of the Sleeping Beauty is kinda ugly. Maybe that's also because I had a beer just before I started drawing. It's hot outside, okay? Besides, it's the weekend and I'm an adult. I can drink a bit of beer if I want to. Actually, I think the small beer I had didn't impact the drawing at all, and I'm just trying to find excuses as to why some parts are uglier than others. Much like the other shapes and parts of this very long horizontal drawing, I didn't plan what the next step was going to be. Turned out that the Sleeping Beauty's hair could become whatever I wanted and curve in and out in a flowy pattern. That was perfect to transition to the snake skin, which is also flowy. Not every transition has to be made of abrupt contrasts. I wish I had taken more time and thoughts on the scales of the reptile. I used to be able to draw a correct looking snake skin just like that, but I guess I haven't done that in too long, so I messed up the flow of the skewered checker pattern, or diamonds pattern. Every turn of the serpent, the lines are wrong and it's hard to correct. I tried my best when I was coloring the corners by being heavy on the outside and light on the inside, to give the impression of a cylindrical shape. After the snake, I made a large spiral, and then realized I still had a line that was floating above without an end. That's when I made a large nose and then another spirally eye. Let me pass briefly on that. Never mind the anime-like light reflection thingies in the middle of the iris. After that, the lines twist and turn to form the light bulb flower bouquet. And then finally we reach the rock cliffs and the hypnotic lighthouse. That same lighthouse that projects the lights of questioning onto our minds and that makes us want to ask, what is next? What is next shouldn't be such a hard question. I can tell you right now. I'm going to show you the full drawing, all the while asking you to subscribe with the big red button below, as well as like and comment on the video. As always, you can follow more of my work on my Instagram at d3_sd, and I also have a Twitter and a Reddit account. There are even more links in the description if you want to give it a read. I'm Pt.3, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!